Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to my ranking of all the Kingdom Hearts games. That is the plan for today. I'm gonna be ranking all the Kingdom Hearts games. There are 14. Well, not really. If you include all the mobile games and movies and stuff, there are 14, okay? So I won't just be ranking the games, I'll also be ranking everything else that is, story relevant and stuff. So there's gonna be two ranking ways of this. There's going to be a general gameplay ranking, and I guess a story ranking, I guess. So yeah, regarding Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, and Kingdom Hearts Recoded, and Kingdom Hearts Key back cover, and the mobile games in general. I haven't played the game version of these because they came out in the Nintendo DS and they never got a game release on the PlayStation, so I never got to play them, even though I would really love to play them. I think they would be great, but I never really got to play them, so I'll be ranking them just based on the cutscenes that we see on the PlayStation collection. So if that changes the ranking of my ranking compared to your ranking, just that's a little bit of a PSA. But it also means that if one of those games, because I've heard 358 over 2 days had really bad gameplay, and that really bad gameplay could have put it lower on the list for me, for example. I'll get into that later. But the second PSA, or I guess thing you should note, is I've played all of these recently, as in like I first started playing Kingdom Hearts 2 years ago, so my ranking isn't gonna be skewed by nostalgia. So yeah, I won't be putting Kingdom Hearts 1 at the top, for example. I mean, you're just gonna have to wait and see, but I'm not gonna put Kingdom Hearts 1 as the best game just because I feel nostalgic to it. I remember playing it when I was young. And I never played the mobile games either. I tried to play Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, but I didn't really enjoy the gacha style game. So starting it off at number 14, what I think is the worst Kingdom Hearts game. I don't think this will come necessarily as a surprise to a lot of you. It's Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. Okay, alright. You can probably assume why I have it this low on the list. Yes, it is the gameplay. Alright, I tried to get into it. I played it for a couple of hours. 5 hours or so. I got to the 3rd floor or whatever, because you have to climb floors in that game. And I really try to enjoy the strategic style, and I'm down for strategic games, right? I'm totally down. I just didn't like the way Chain of Memories went about its strategic card style game. It was just too much for me, okay? And yeah, the story though, because there's also story element to this. I like the story because at the end of the day, even though I never finished the game, I had to still watch the story cutscenes, and that's exactly what I did. I watched the story cutscenes for Chain of Memories after deciding not to play the entire game, and I really liked it. It was a really good introduction to the organization and Namine. I thought she was cool. Axel was awesome in this game. Axel is awesome in almost every game. Maybe Kingdom Hearts 2 didn't do Axel justice necessarily, but Axel is awesome in this game. The way he offed Vexen. Vexen is like, no, don't kill me, no. And then Axel goes, goodbye. Burns him up. That was awesome. That was a really cool scene. There's also a lot of memeing you can do with this game. It's a very ridiculous game where Sora just loses his memories. Haha, get it? Because it's a chain of memories. And there's the entire thing with Riku and the Riku replica. That was hilarious. I remember watching the cutscene when they met each other. Riku's just like, hey, I'm me. And then Ricky's like, no, I'm me. Then Ricky Replica's like, I'm me, he says. That makes me laugh every time I watch it. It's so ridiculous, and out of the context, it makes no sense. I mean, even with context, it makes no sense. Let's be honest, it's Kingdom Hearts. Number 14, the least best Kingdom Hearts game, I guess you could say. Chain of Memories. And it is also, I'll say this right now, this is also the only Kingdom Hearts game that I didn't play fully, if that makes sense. Like, there could be other Kingdom Hearts games that I didn't enjoy to play. Well, I mentioned them later on, but none of them to the point where I disliked it so much that I didn't play it to the end. So that's all I'll say. But to be fair, this is the only Kingdom Hearts games where I think it is bad gameplay wise. So we'll get into it when we get to the other later games. Let's go to number 13, and for this we have Kingdom Hearts Key. Yep, that's it. Kingdom Hearts Key came out in 2013. This game, it suffers from... there's nothing wrong with it, but the reason why it's so low, I guess you could say, is because there's nothing that amazing with it either, right? There's nothing that makes this game stand out in any way. It's just, yeah. I mean, I like how we learn about the lore of what happened centuries ago, and you know, we got the what's his name, Master of Masters. I think he's really cool. I think he's one of the most mysterious people ever. We got Lucia and the other foretellers. It's a really cool introduction to them and all, and we follow the player's perspective and all. This game isn't bad. It's just what is good about the game, right? Like why do I think there's nothing about the game that makes me think it should be higher than any of the games that I'm gonna mention later on. So that brings me to number 12, and this is Kingdom Hearts Key Dark Road. This is a very recent one in 2020. Came out a couple of months ago. Now, the reason why this is higher than Kingdom Hearts Key is because I'm really interested in the Ericus and Xehanort backstory. I think it's really cool. You also have their dead now Keyblade wielders or friends along with them, and those are Vor, Bragi, Erd, but Baldur is that guy who was worried for his sister, right? Who am I missing? Hermod, yeah. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing them correctly, but yeah, those four, and they hang out together and they've tried to find the upperclassmen who are missing. So that's really cool. And we also get introduced to Master Odin, who is their master of them all. Cool. Yeah, it's so short, right? We've only gone 3 episodes, right? And it releases like once every couple of months, so we're still barely into the story. I mean, yeah, we learned that they all die at the end of episode 1. We learned that the 4 Hermod, Bragi, Vor, and Erd, they all die. But we don't know how. We're still in the world with Alice in Wonderland. Well, that brings me to the next game, or I guess it leads to this game. Kingdom Hearts Key back cover came out in 2017. Now this game, or this movie, it's basically Kingdom Hearts Key, which is 2 spots lower than this, except in 3D form, and we're following the foreteller's perspective rather than the player's perspective. And the reason why I think this is cool is because I'm really interested in the foreteller's perspective. I think I'm interested to see. I was interested to see how they felt like before the Keyblade War, and we never really got to see that in Key as much. Just suddenly Aced appeared and he fought the player, and we were just like, what? But this was cool. We learned about how Gula has the lost page and Ava made the Dandelions. The reason why it's so high up here is because it's 3D. We actually get to hear voice acting, and one of my favorite things, the Master of Masters in this movie. He was so awesome. He made this movie amazing. Just Look at Giffy running after me. Master of Masters is freaking cool. Alright, you can't tell me otherwise. I love the Master of Masters. The way he just makes witty jokes. If you want, go watch my live stream. I'm just laughing every time. He just makes a joke to Lushu, which actually, I think this might be the reason why Zigbar acts the way he does. As if. I think he's gotten it from the Master of Masters. His joking side. So yeah, if you've never played any Kingdom Hearts game or whatever, and you're just interested in watching a good movie, this isn't it. Alright, it's good for learning about Kingdom Hearts story and lore and stuff, but as a movie itself, it's pretty meh. There's nothing about this movie that makes me go like, oh yeah, this is masterpiece. So yeah, I mean, there's a reason why it's so low here. It's the lowest movie on here compared to all the other movies that I'm gonna mention later on. Also, doesn't help that it's telling the Kingdom Hearts key story, which again, I didn't consider the story anything too amazing. So yeah, but cool to learn about the past, I guess, of what happened in the Keyblade War. Kinda cool. Imagine if I entered the boss fight against the Dark Inferno, as I told you guys. I won't do that because I wouldn't be able to focus. I can't focus on talking and fighting a boss, the hardest boss in this game, at the same time. But okay, next game. At number 10, we're finally getting to the top 10. So yeah, we've moved on to the more meh games and gone to the a bit more exciting games. We got Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory at number 10. Came out a month ago or 3 weeks ago or something. Again, I haven't actually played this game. I've only watched the story cutscenes at the very end, so there was barely any story in this game. I'm not really interested in rhythm games, although I've heard this rhythm game is actually really good. I've heard Melody Memory is really, really good by the people who have played it. But yeah, I'm personally not interested, so I just watched the story cutscenes to be caught up to it, because as you guys know, everything Kingdom Hearts is story relevant. There's no side game that isn't story relevant. We learned this first in Chain of Memories, we learned it again in 358 over 2 days, we learned it again in Birth by Sleep. Alright, everything is story relevant. Alright, you gotta play all the Kingdom Hearts games to understand what's going on. So that's why I watched the story cutscenes for this, and I wasn't wrong, it's extremely story relevant. Now, the reason why it's so up here is obviously because this is the latest of Kingdom Hearts lore story we're getting, right? The Nameless Star, her being one of the key to, with Riku and Kairi to go to Quadratum, which is the fictional world or the unreality that Ansem Wise was mentioning. What the frick is going on? I'm excited. One of the coolest things that when I was watching these cutscenes, it's only 25 minutes of cutscenes, it's not that long, but one of the coolest things is Kairi actually fighting well against Xehanort. Yes, she didn't beat him, but of course she wouldn't be able to beat him, right? She's freaking Kairi. Not even Sora could beat Xehanort alone. He needed Donald and Goofy to be like, "Oh, Sora!" Kairi did that smart move that Sora did in Kingdom Hearts 1, where he takes off his keyblade and takes it on again and attacks Xehanort. That is awesome. I actually like how Kairi showed off her strength in that game compared to Kingdom Hearts 3. Finally get the return of the Final Fantasy characters. Kairi does some cool moves. We learn about the fictional world and Quadratum, and Riki's going there and he actually enters there. Oh, another really cool thing. Kairi's training with Master Aqua. Yes, that is cool. These cutscenes really did Kairi justice. I like it. I'm liking the way they're moving Kairi's piece now. For once. For once. She's been a character since Kingdom Hearts 1, and she has nowhere near the same development as Riku or Sora. Especially Riku. Riku has a lot of development. More on him later. But there's that game. Next game we should be getting onto is Kingdom Hearts Recoded. and this came out in 2011. Now, you might be wondering why is this so high up, and the reason why is basically, I love Sora. Even though it is Data Soros, it's not really him. I love his confrontation with Roxas and how he has to face his fears. That is awesome. Face my fears. Quoting the song. But I really like that, how he talks with Roxas and actually goes through his fear and anger. And I did like confrontation. That was one of the best parts of the movie. The Thank nominating was cool. And Maleficent mentioned the Book of Prophecies, of course, how she's gonna, and it all ties back to Kingdom's Union Cross. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I think this game did well on that. Issues with the game is obviously it's 90% filler. It's the wiki being the journal. It's way too complicated or convoluted for no reason. Freaking Ricky being the journal was the most confusing thing ever. Then Sora fights his darkness self or dark side. It was a confusing, convoluted mess, 90% filler. But I do appreciate for the things that I mentioned earlier. And also, let's not forget about the secret ending with young Xehanort, and we see all of the organization members turn into somebodies again after being killed in Kingdom 2 and Chain of Memories. They turn into somebodies again, and young Xehanort is there to pick them up. And Xigbar shows that we get hints that Xigbar is more than he really seems to be, right? Because this is one of the first hints that we get that Xigbar isn't actually just Xehanort's right-hand man. He's more than what he seems. And then, you know, later we find out that he's actually Luciu, which is a huge plot twist. Again, I'll get into that when we talk about Kingdom 3. But yeah, I really like this game for that. So that, number 9 Recoded. Alright. Next game came out in 2016 is Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. This is at number 8. Number 8. This is obviously the best out of the mobile games. No doubt in my mind. This is the best mobile game. This is the second best movie or slash cutscenes thing that I've watched. You can already assume what my number 1 will be then. But yeah, Union Cross is so awesome. It made the story Kingdom's Key and took it and made it so much more interesting. They tied it together with the Maleficent stuff, again with Recoded. They had Ventus and, you know, more lore on him, right? They had, oh man, Maleficent being with darkness thing. We have Lorium, who we learn is Marluxia somebody. Oh my god, this game, so many things. Elrina, we get Elrina here. Oh man, Elrina, which is Larxene somebody, of course. And we learn, you know, in Kingdom 3 we learn that she's only in the organization because she wants to follow Marluxia, which is really cool. Then we have Strelitzia, dude. Strelitzia. We learn about her and how she's Marluxia's or Lorium's sister, and she's actually really interested in Player, possibly even in love with Player. I'm not sure. That's what I got from her. She really likes the Player. In general, I really like Union Cross. What the thing about this game or cutscenes that I watched that I preferred so much over the classic Kingdom Hearts Key is it ties really well to the present Kingdom Hearts lore. It's not just the foretellers, and it's really cool to see. We also have the entire lab thing that we saw in Kingdom Hearts 1. If you go back to watch my 19th Kingdom Hearts 1 part, I believe, I go to this place where we see that huge machinery thingy, and we learn in Melody of Memory. That's something I should have mentioned when I was talking about Melody of Memory. We learn in Memory that Xehanort actually transported Kairi using that machine to the Destiny Islands to find he sent her to the Destiny Islands because he wanted to find the Keyblade wielders, where the Keyblade was gonna go. It was nuts. It really was. And then we have what else do we have? But the pod shows up again, and how we learn about how it explains how Maleficent survived Kingdom Hearts 1, and how she time traveled back in time to Union Cross times, and then she time traveled in the future again, and we learned that again time travel to the future is possible, using that pod. As long as someone is remembering you, you can time travel to the future. Although it takes, even though you go to the speed of light and your body can handle it, as long as you transport your body to the future and someone is thinking about you or remembering you, you can't time travel to the future, and that's how Maleficent was able to come back. I love it ties all of that together. And again, Ventus killing Shalitia, we just learned that recently, and Lorium getting really mad. This is the latest cutscenes we got. Lorium gets mad, attacks Ventus, and then you have Mort, Scold, and Ephemera, and Brain, dude, the virus himself. Yeah, Union Cross absolutely deserves this spot on the list. Really good cutscene game. Love Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. Can't wait to see how it ends. I think we're over halfway through by this point, so we're not that far from the Kingdom Hearts Union Cross ending. But okay, next game we have is Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, and came out in 2017. This is the first game other than Chain of Memories to show up in my list. Which is quite funny actually. We're finally getting to the games, but it makes sense, right? Because I'm reading both gameplay and story, and since a lot of these are really just movie stories, I can't really rate them on gameplays. So yeah, this game was sick. Story-wise, we learn about why Mickey was never able to save Aqua, how he lost his shirt, what the hell was Ricky was doing behind the door, how Aqua felt to live all those 10 years in the Realm of Darkness a tiny bit. I really like the first world in this game, where Aqua's, jumping on those rooftops and we have to get to the very top. I think that game was sick. We also learn about how Xemnas learned later on that Ventus is in the Castle Oblivion, because Aqua revealed that to him in this game. Because when she met Terra North and Ventus, or I guess their silhouettes or whatever. So that's the story really for this. I'll just explain what Aqua's doing at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1. Gameplay wise, I loved it. It's more of a prologue to Kingdom Hearts 3 than anything, right? The ending of this game was really a prologue to Kingdom Hearts 3, and gameplay showed the abilities that Kingdom Hearts 3 was gonna have, what type of gameplay it was gonna have. It finally brought back this command system, which I'm gonna be talking about later on. What are you? Yeah, it finally brought back this system and the shortcut menu system and everything. But this is cool actually, how you can change between sets. But finally brought back this system to see in the bottom left here. I'm messing around with it. So I like this game for doing that. Other than that, I like the first world. I like the world with the mirrors and how Aqua has to find her way. That's cool. There's also the entire clothing thing where you have to give Aqua some clothes or whatever. You can put on. You can give her cat ears. I bet a lot of people love doing that. I mean, I did that as well. I give her, I don't know, like white cat ears, which you get from the cave. You can also change the color, dress her up, and I did that as well. I dressed her up in yellow and blue. So a lot of people will probably like this game because of the customization feature. I like this game because of that. You can't do it in any other Kingdom Hearts games, really, so might as well use it while you have it, right? So yeah, Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. No, 0.2 Birth by Sleep, sorry. In number 7. Number 6, we're soon getting to top 5 here. Number 6, we have Kingdom Hearts. Of course it's gonna be here. Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. This is absolutely the best Kingdom Hearts movie. Oh my god, I love this game. I love this movie. I guess you should say. I should say. Came out in 2009. I love this movie. All right. This movie. Oh look! Before we get to that, I have 69 hours into Kingdom Hearts. That's kind of funny, actually. I didn't even know this. But okay, back on track. I love this movie. This is absolutely amazing. Story-wise, this movie's top 3 Kingdom Hearts, or maybe even the best. I don't know. This movie's awesome, and I'll explain why. Just like any of us, we never really asked to be brought into this world, right? We were just, we were just brought into this world, right? We never were like, yo, I wanna come to Earth. We just were born, right? But Roxas takes that to the extreme. It's like, I literally was born because this idiot Sora decided to become a Heartless. And then this random Xemnas guy took me into the organization. And I had to do errands for them for no reason. And I don't know what's going on. And then I become friends with some people. And I have happy feelings and memories with them. Even though I'm a nobody, so I don't have a heart, so I can't feel feelings. And then later on, they eat ice cream, happy memories. And then Shion dies, Roxas kills Shion, he feels sadness and regret. And then she's like, well, crap, I'm a nobody, so I can't feel any of this. I don't have a heart. And then, oh man, this movie is so sad. And then he fights Riku. Riku's like, alright, come over here. Blah, 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 chops him up. To be fair, Rox is actually stronger than Riku because he beat Riku. Riku had to use the power of Ansem and the darkness to win. I'm just saying, Roxas is a beast. But okay, Roxas gets brought back to Ansem the Wise. Ansem the Wise takes him to the freaking data program world where he gets 3 fake data friends who aren't his actual friends. And then he's like having fun for the first time. Axel comes in and he's like, yo, let's come back to us. And he's like, nah. And then Roxas just keeps having fun with Tainer Pants and all that. Then he comes back to the real world. He meets Sora again. And learns that he has fake friends. And then he's like, well, I can't feel happiness with these friends because like obviously they're not I don't have feelings, I'm a nobody. And then he goes with Sora and he's like, oh, I guess my summer vacation has ended. Push, Sora's back, woohoo! And Sora's like, woohoo, I'm back, woohoo! And we're all at the end of Chapter 2, we're all like, I wanna play as Roxas again! So yeah, that prologue was sick in Heroes 2, to be fair. So yeah, and yeah, he never had, any happiness or sadness, right? Kingdom Hearts Dream Trip Distance comes in, and Xemnas is like, oh yeah, by the way, nobody's grow hearts, cause nobody can really live without a heart for that long. The entire time, my man had real feelings, real emotions, and he was told, yeah, but you're a nobody, so you don't actually have emotions and feelings. Heartbreaking. Shion's death, heartbreaking. Shion had feelings. Dude, Shion is even... Oh my god, this freaking movie, man. Oh, it's so good, so good. I think I've explained why this movie is so high up here. Am I right? I don't think it's explained anymore. But there are more stuff that I should mention realistically. One of those is how the entire sunset thing when Axel and Roxas is talking about the sunset. This is a really small detail, but I actually like it. Axel talks with Roxas and he tells him, do you know why when you have a sunset, do you know why the sky goes red? And Roxas is like, no. And Axel tells him, that's because whenever there's a sunset happening, the light doesn't radiate any other light other than red from the atoms in the atmosphere. And Roxas is like, wow, the sunset. And this is very important for Twilight Town, because Twilight Town is basically always sunset. It's literally twilight. It's not light or dark. It's in between, which is also the road that Riki decided to take. Small detail, but yeah. I could mention so many more things with Shion, But for the sake of the ranking and because we have to get through, I think I've mentioned enough to explain why this game is so high up here. But I could go even more in depth, and if you do want that, let me know, and I'll go even more in depth with Shion and Axel. Axel in this game is sick. But okay, and you know, Zemnis and many other things, you know. But I think I'll move on. I don't think I'm gonna get too much into detail about how others see Shion, right? How Zemnis sees Soren Shion, or how Zigbar is seeing Ventus in Shion. I think I'll just move on, right? So, we're getting to the top 5! And all top 5 are actually games, so no movies left, guys. No movies left. At number 5, we have Kingdom Hearts. Drumroll. Birth by Sleep. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep at number 5. Now, a lot of you guys might be disappointed or just shocked at how low this is. You probably expected this to be a top 3 game for me. And I can see that. It is a fun game. I did like it. But most of my problems really are from the combat, to be honest. First things first, this game introduced the freaking dope command deck system instead of this system, which is I love so much more. I mean, the command deck system was that bad, I just really like the system, you know? And that game introduced it, and it made commands so overpowered. I was just using commands the entire time rather than actually fighting, using attack and magic and Furaka! Like, look at this, dude. This is awesome. And I didn't feel like you could do that. So, my magic ran out. I can't do any more magic. But yeah, it introduced that command deck system. Combat felt floaty as hell. There were multiple times where I wanted to dodge attacks, but I couldn't because I felt so slow as any of the characters. I just didn't. I wasn't a big fan, you know. Chest grabbing. You pressed X. Are you serious? To grab a chest, you press X instead of triangle. Multiple times when you press X. Because when you press X, you use an attack, and I didn't want to attack, but it is like a special ability rather than grabbing the chest. You don't know how annoying that is. I'm sorry, Birth by Sleep. How the frick you gonna be doing that to me? Okay. But at the same time, there are some goodness to Birth by Sleep, because at the end of the day, it is this high up here. I mean, it's no chain of memories at the end of the day, right? And I'm not gonna force myself to this game because I love this game. So I'm gonna tell you positives. First things first, I love the story, of course. This is also one of the best stories in Kingdom Hearts, along with 358 over 2 days, right? Love seeing the backstories of Ventus, Aqua, and Terra, and Xehanort, and how it all came to be towards Kingdom Hearts 3. Aqua's an overrated character, even though she's the best female Kingdom Hearts character. That's because every other female Kingdom Hearts character is really trash, let's be honest. Larxene? I mean, Kyrie? Freaking hell, Fairy Godmother! Like, you can tell me Fairy Godmother is a better character. Bro, she's just Disney character, yo. But yeah. That's basically why it's so high to begin with. That's the story reasons for why. Also, we like to see Xehanort's motivations and backstory in Ericus. Also, Terra's underrated, just like Aqua's overrated. Terra's people hate on Terra too much. He's not as that stupid. I always felt with Terra during this entire game. Alright. In fact, I will argue easily that Terra's much wiser than Riku ever was in Kingdom Hearts 1. Riku was an idiot in Kingdom Hearts 1. So that's all I'll say. Terra isn't as dumb. Hashtag Terra deserves better by the fandom. But okay, also this game introduced shot locks, and I love shot locks. I love these thingies. Well, there's no enemies to test it out here on, but you get what I'm saying. You can do that. You also had cool double jumping mechanics and all the mechanics. Didn't like how they were locked behind command deck, but okay. So that hopefully I've explained why this game is my number 5 and not top 3 like probably a lot of you have it on. But the next game is the classic, the good old Kingdom Hearts 1. Kingdom Hearts 1 came out in 2002. Birth by Sleep came out in 2010, in case you didn't know. But Kingdom Hearts 1 came out in 2002, and of course it's this high up here. Of course it's number 4 or top 4 or something, right? I mean, this is the game that started it all, right? If this game wasn't enjoyable, nobody would play on, right? Chain of Memory, if people had started with Chain of Memories rather than this game, holy crap, nobody would have liked Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts would have gone down to the gutter. Luckily it started off with this game. This game is a banger. Loved. Again, this is before the command deck was ever introduced. The biggest thing, the biggest positive about this game that I'll give it is the Disney worlds. This game has, to me, to this day, ever since I played it, I haven't seen a Kingdom Hearts game with better Disney worlds. It has the best Disney worlds. I love the Tarzan world as well. I loved every world in this. It was so, you could explore it so much. There were so many hidden things, and nooks and things you could find on the sides. I loved the Disney worlds in this and their stories. I was always invested in them compared to a lot of the future Kingdom Hearts games, like Birth by Sleep. I was way more interested in the Kingdom Hearts 1 worlds and the way they were built. I really liked it. But that doesn't come without criticism for the worlds, and the criticism is they never really, a lot of times you would be confused as hell as where the hell you need to go. I mean, you can't tell me, after in the Tarzan world, right, you fight, what's his name, the tiger with Tarzan, and then right after that you're just sitting on a treehouse and you don't know where to go. You're just like, yep, I am here. Where the frick? What do I do? Where do I go? There's like a million paths, and you just have to explore on your own, which I guess is fine. I mean, exploring the world isn't that bad, but I wish it gives you more indications on where you should be going. I guess some of the later games actually made this too obvious, though, in a sense. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know. I don't know. Maybe you think it's a good thing, but that's, I guess, a little bit of criticism I have for it. But other than that, I really like Kingdom Hearts 1. The reason why it's not really higher up is mostly because of how old it is, right? I mean, even the final mix version, the combat feels so like old and unrefined, and I can't really say, you know, you just press X and Sora's attacks just feel so like weirdly animated, I guess you could say, weirdly done. So there's that. But other than that, you know, the story was good. Have to really big up the story for this game, because this is the only game where Kingdom Hearts story isn't confusing as hell. You just get to the end, even though the story becomes a heartless and a nobody's created. We don't know that by the time we're playing this game. We only learn about this in Kingdom Hearts 2 and 358 on 2 days. So this is the least convoluted Kingdom Hearts game, and I think for that alone you have to appreciate it. Okay, you have to appreciate that it's not confusing at all. You just fight Ansem at the end, boom boom boom, skraboosh, done. To be fair, it does leave some unanswered questions with how Riku, what the hell's going on with him, and how Riku, yeah, the Riki's keyblade thingy, that's something I also want to talk about with this game. I love the plot. It's one of my favorite plot twists in Kingdom Hearts. The plot twist that Riku was actually the one deserving of the keyblade rather than Sora. Oh, come on, you can't tell me I was the only one that really enjoyed that plot twist. That was sick. I thought, because you know, usually in games or in shows or whatever, the main character is usually like the chosen one, the special one. But this time, Sora just got it because the keyblade went to the next best, you know? Riku was actually supposed to be the one to get it, and that shocked me. I was like, whoa, so Sora isn't the classic special guy. And even though he is kind of special because he has, you know, very large amounts of light inside him, but so does Aqua. So isn't necessarily special because of that. And I really like how this game, how they went with that in that game. I really enjoyed that. Anything else I have to mention regarding this? Oh yeah, and then we find out in Birth by Sleep that the reason why Riku was really the chosen one is because Terra gave him the thingy. He gave him like the Keyblade wielding ability when he met him in the Destiny Islands. So I never got any of that. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say about this game. I think I've argued for why it's this high up here and why I think it's higher than Birth by Sleep for that sake. Getting to number 3, and I think you guys are gonna be really surprised by this one. It's Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. I get it, you're surprised. You probably would switch around Dream Drop Distance with Birth by Sleep. And you're about to call me biased because I have nostalgia. Well, because you think I had nostalgia of Dream Drop Distance from when I played it 7 years ago in my Nintendo 2DS on the demo. But the biggest reason why this game's high up here, and I'm just gonna be completely honest, flow motion, man. Flow motion is the best thing ever in that game. Going around the world, it's just like just exploring the worlds with doing this. Wow, wow, exactly what I'm doing here. Except in Kingdom Hearts 3, flow motion isn't as cool, but I guess it makes sense because flow motion was way too overpowered in Dream Drop Distance. Flow motion is really the biggest reason it was up here. I love flow motion. The gameplay, exploring the world with flow motion, trying to find chests using flow motion, everything was so cool. And I knew I loved this game when I played it back in the demo in 3DS, but holy crap, it was a lot of fun with flow motion. And I agree, it makes sense why they nerfed slow motion in Kingdom Hearts 3, it was way too overpowered, but gosh darn, it was fun. I'll be completely honest with you, I really liked how fun that game was with the flow motion. Story-wise, I also really liked the plot scene, the plot twist at the end, when we learned that Zigverdis, I'm already half Xehanort, or how, you know, he's trying to create a real Organization 13. Love that plot twist. Axel arriving at the very end to save the day. It was my favorite character. The next game. Right, so hopefully you guys understand why I've put Dream Drop Distance this high up. Yeah, I really like the flow motion. That's really mostly it. But next game, this is the number 2, and there's only 2 games left. You guys can already assume which 2 games they are. I should also mention that criticism for Dream Drop Distance, and that is obviously the Dream Eaters. I don't have, stupid as hell. They never needed to exist. And another criticism I have for both for Birth by Sleep actually is that I didn't like the way they handled the 3 characters, like how we all went through the same worlds as all 3 characters, Ventus, Aqua and Terra, how we all went to all the same worlds and did some of the same things. I just didn't like the way they handled that, so I didn't. I never really felt invested. You know, the story went by so quickly and with each character, and it all rounded up together at the very end. But again, wasn't the biggest fan of that. But the Dream Drop Distance, a positive thing is the way they did it with Sora and Riku. I enjoyed that way more than how they did it in the Birth by Sleep. And also about Chain of Memories, they also did that there with Reverse Rebirth and Riku, but since I never played Chain of Memories to that point, that's not something I can really talk about. But yeah, just wanted to mention that. At my number 2, we have Kingdom Hearts. Is he gonna say a 3 or is he gonna say a 2? Which one's his favorite? Alright, I'm just gonna reveal it. Drum roll, please. At number 2, I have Kingdom Hearts 2, which means my number 1 is Kingdom Hearts 3. Alright, I'll explain. I'll explain why, and a lot of you guys, I'm assuming, will be like, "What the frick? How do you think Kingdom Hearts 3 is better than Kingdom Hearts 2? Kingdom Hearts 2 is better in every way. What is going on? Why? Well, Kingdom Hearts 2, I loved Kingdom Hearts 2, right? I think it did so many things perfect. Basically everything perfect. I love Kingdom Hearts 2. The thing with Kingdom Hearts 3 though, it had... Kingdom Hearts 2 was perfect in every way, and Kingdom Hearts 3 had lower lows than Kingdom Hearts 2. But Kingdom Hearts 3 had higher highs for me than Kingdom Hearts 2. And the reason why Kingdom Hearts 3 to me is so high is because I really just like weighed on the higher highs of Kingdom Hearts 3 that made it like this high up. So I'll try to explain. Kingdom Hearts 2 fun in every way, right? Like I love the the Disney worlds are really my biggest criticisms about Kingdom Hearts 2, but the gameplay is great, the story is great, loved beating Xemnas boss fight at the end, the challenge was great, like it wasn't an easy game at all. Roxas boss fight is my favorite boss fight in all of Kingdom Hearts. I mean, there's so many things this game does right. Kingdom Hearts 2 is just amazing. But then we have and a criticism that I have is the Disney worlds, right? I was never invested in these Disney worlds like I was in Kingdom Hearts. Like I was in Kingdom Hearts 1. And Kingdom Hearts 3, I'll argue, has the second best Disney world out of any Kingdom Hearts game after Kingdom Hearts 1. Because Kingdom Hearts 3 has, especially the Caribbean world in Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3 Caribbean world is my favorite Disney world out of any Kingdom Hearts games. But it doesn't help that Kingdom Hearts 3 had Arendelle and the Tangled world to work with. Not gonna lie, Kingdom of Corona world, I guess you could say. So those are really the biggest letdowns for World Kingdom Hearts 3. But in general, Kingdom Hearts 3 had really good worlds. Toy Story and Monsters Inc. was a way better world than I ever thought it would be. I love the Caribbean world and I love the Big Hero 6 world, although it was essentially a large box with the city on, and it wasn't nearly as cool as it is in like Spider-Man or something. But you know, I like the I like the world, the Kingdom Hearts 3 worlds. Kingdom Hearts 2 had the worst world in my opinion. It felt very linear. It wasn't as cool exploration-wise to me as Kingdom Hearts 3 or Kingdom Hearts 1. So that's the biggest criticism I have for Kingdom Hearts 2. But gameplay-wise, Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3, I'd say, and I know this could be controversial, I'd say they're equal. Like, I love Kingdom Hearts 2 with their reaction commands, although the reaction commands might be a bit much sometimes. I really liked it, and in general the gameplay feels a lot smoother and cleaner in a couple of ways compared to Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3 though has shot locks and full motion, although not as cool as in Dream Drop Distance. Still there, and I still appreciate it. So it also has the entire thing where I can switch between keyblades. Here I'm using Oath Keeper, here I'm using the favorite Tapiri, and I'm using the Ultima weapon. The form changes are sick. To be fair, Kingdom Hearts 3 also has those drive forms, and they were awesome. But with these form changes, compared to Kingdom Hearts 2's form changes, I could, form change here in Kingdom Hearts 3, then change back to another keyblade, boom, 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 use the form change in Oathkeeper, boom, use the form change in Favorite Deputy, and my form change in my original keyblade still stays, and that's what I really like about the system of this game. Makes it a lot more strategic in a sense for me. But in general, I'd say gameplay equal. So story-wise, I'd say Kingdom Hearts 3 had lower lows story-wise compared to Kingdom Hearts 2. But it had higher highs, okay? Lowest lows, what I mean by that is, and this is my biggest criticism by far in Kingdom Hearts 3, where are the Final Fantasy characters? Like, Kingdom Hearts 2 did so well for me, in my opinion, with the Final Fantasy characters. But Kingdom Hearts 3, they're just, they don't exist anymore. And they came back in Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind and Melodic Memory, but I don't know, man. It was stupid. I don't know why they would leave out the Final Fantasy characters from this game. So that's my biggest criticism by far in Kingdom Hearts 3. And my biggest criticism in Kingdom Hearts 3 is obviously the Disney worlds, right? So, yeah, Final Fantasy characters 2 I think were done so well, but in Kingdom Hearts 3, Kingdom Hearts 3 also had some really cool, yeah, again, the prologue with Roxas was awesome, but the way they handled Axel, not a big fan in Kingdom Hearts 2 compared to Kingdom Hearts 3. They just had him die. It wasn't really that sad of a death to me. Even though, like, except the time you feel like that death is real, right? Like it actually has happened. But it didn't feel that sad. It wasn't done that well. Like I didn't even understand Axel's motivations for saving Sora. I don't know. But in Kingdom Hearts 3, Axel has done justice. Same thing Dreamed of Distance. Axel got his justice. So I'm completely okay with that for now. Kairi, Kingdom Hearts 3, big disappointment. I said I was gonna mention this earlier, so I'll mention it now. I was hoping she you know, she got her Keyblade. She's gonna train. With this Axel. I was hoping she'd be super strong, but man, I was let down, man. She was caught by Xemnas, and Sora had to kill himself to help her live, essentially. In Kingdom Hearts 3 Rewind, we saw that. KH, Kingdom Hearts 3 Rewind. But in Kingdom Hearts 2, she wasn't impressive either. She just waited on the Destiny Islands the entire time, like, Sora, Riku, come back, you know. So there's that. But Riku, Kingdom Hearts 3, he was alright. I mean, he wasn't outstanding like Axel or Sora, but Kingdom Hearts 2, same thing with Riku. I do like Riku's character development in general, though. How he went from being this like freaking being someone corrupted by darkness to becoming a Keyblade master before Sora ever was. But I'm kind of fine with it, because Sora not being a Keyblade master is cool to me, because it's not supposed to be the chosen one, and that's one of the things that I liked about Kingdom Hearts. Just like I mentioned in Kingdom Hearts 1 earlier, I like that Sora isn't this, I don't know, overpowered freak, or you know, just he is a prophecy. He's supposed to be like this legend. Nah, he's just a kid with a lot of light in him, and he's trying to help others, and I like that. So yeah, Ricky got his Keyblade Master. Anything else I can really mention? Can I mention anything else that I haven't really mentioned? Oh yeah, I guess I should really mention the biggest reason why Kingdom Hearts 3 is higher than Kingdom Hearts 2, and the higher highs, right? I mean, I've already mentioned the Kingdom Hearts 3 lower lows, but the higher highs. First things first, the art and like colors in general are so good. This is peak Kingdom Hearts 3 artistically. Designs wise, I'm fine with them, right, for the most part. Sora's hair kind of looked weird at first, but I've kind of grown used to it. But yeah, design wise, I like it. They improved on people like Lushard. His design is so much better. Larxene. I like the like ultra cool HD colors and everything, and artistic look. That's a big plus. In cutscenes, characters don't look dead. Like their interactions don't just like look very dead and doesn't feel real. They actually are really cool in Kingdom Hearts 3, which I do appreciate. Other than some situations, but you know, for the most part, it's done way better in Kingdom Hearts 3 than in any other game. Better in Kingdom Hearts 3 than in Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 3 also had story elements that I think are the reason why it's so high up here. Yes, Kairi didn't do much, but listen here. Roxas' return was so freaking cool. Terror's return was so freaking cool, and how he was the guardian. I was not expecting that. Ricky Replica got his end. Oh man, and that was awesome. And of course, the very end, the Xehanort boss fight at the end. Oh man, I did enjoy it. I did enjoy all of that. Um, and of course, can't forget about the best plot twist in the entirety of Kingdom Hearts. Zigbar being Lucy. Man, oh man, that caught me good. I made an entire separate video of my reaction just because of my initial reactions of it, just because of how I was so shocked by it. And then we learn about Yozora and the unreality world. Oh man, like, is any of this for real or not? Like, oh man. I've been having these weird thoughts lately. Is any of this real or not? You know, that's the entire thing from Kingdom Hearts 1. It's brought back again with Yozora Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, I guess. But oh yeah, like, I'm not mentioning Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind in this because like, I really just count it as part of Kingdom Hearts 3 realistically. Right? You know, it's just a DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3 where it expands more on the story and it shows how Sora managed to save Kairi, which I think is cool. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I've explained why I think Kingdom Hearts 3 is higher. It had higher highs, lower lows when it comes to Final Fantasy characters and stuff, but higher highs in story and gameplay wise, I think they're equally as good. I can understand why this is controversial, but there you go. That's my ranking of the Kingdom Hearts games and my explanations for why different Kingdom Hearts games are what I think about the different Kingdom Hearts games. I hope you all enjoyed my ranking and my takes on the different games. And yeah, I'll see you all next time for some more videos that I'm gonna be doing. I won't be doing any more Kingdom Hearts anytime soon, unfortunately. If you're someone who's looking for Kingdom Hearts, I'm not gonna be doing that anytime soon because there's no really new game. I was thinking of doing Chain of Memories, just playing through it, and maybe, you know, if I give it a second try, I might like it this time. Who knows? And you know, if I do end up really loving it compared to the first time, I might, you know, put it higher on this list compared to last place. But you know, let me know what you think about that. But other than the Chain of Memories thing, I don't really have any other plans for any Kingdom Hearts videos and anything. So if you want any more Kingdom Hearts things, just let me know what I should be doing, what you think I should be doing, or if you want the Chain of Memories series, again, let me know and I'll try to get it sooner if you suggest it. Anything else? Yeah, I'll be doing other general games. I'm already playing through Valiant Hearts right now and Hollow Knight. If you're excited for that, go ahead and watch those. But this is going to be the last Kingdom Hearts video I do for a while, so if you're only here for that, again, leave a comment, let me know that you want more Kingdom Hearts and I'll get to it, and give me any ideas for what you think I could be doing next with Kingdom Hearts, like Chain of Memories, for example. But for now, I'll leave y'all there. Hope you guys enjoyed this ranking. If you guys think, and if my explanations weren't good enough for why the different games are on their place on the list, leave a comment down below, and I'll try to explain more in depth there. So yeah, hopefully I'll see y'all next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this and my takes, and yeah, see y'all next time for some more videos from me. Yeah, peace out. Oh, hey, look, I'm my 69 hours is about to go away. Oh no, it's almost 70 hours. Oh no, time to save and never play Kingdom Hearts again, so that it's on 69 hours forever. There we go. Oh, Shion. Alright, perfect. Shion's. Yep, I'll leave Shion there. That's gonna be the last save I ever do in Kingdom Hearts. There we go. Peace, Shion. Thank you, Shion. Everyone, go check out the Shion theme. It's the greatest song ever. Alright, peace.